Welcome everybody, this is Vintage Story, and in today's video we're going to be talking about 5 small but very powerful and helpful mods. First, I do have a whole bunch of videos for Vintage Story, including tutorials, tips and tricks, also recipe guides, so make sure you check the playlist down below in the description and pinned in the comments for all that Vintage Story content. And now let's get into the list. Number 1, we're going to be talking about the Player Corpse mod. This is a really fantastic mod which affects what happens to your loot whenever your character dies in the world. So as long as you're not playing on hardcore, after you've respawned, you will find, instead of just a pile of your loot floating around where you died, it will now be in the form of a skeleton which will be holding a small torch, so it is easier to see at nighttime, and your goods will be contained within this, so you'll just hold down the right click for a few seconds to reacquire all that loot. So essentially what that means is the option you get during world generation to decide how long your items will stick around after your death is irrelevant. When you have the Player Corpse mod installed, you don't have to worry about that particular option. The skeleton will remain indefinitely. One thing to note, on a multiplayer server, after a certain time frame, it will become lootable to other players, so they will be able to claim your stuff if you're in sort of a PvP challenge world or something. And there's a whole bunch of configurable options for this one too, so check those out, and it makes it more difficult or less difficult for you. And one final thing, there's actually an item introduced called the Corpse Compass, which you can create, and it will help you find your corpse in a world where you don't have a map, such as a Homo sapiens run or a more challenging wilderness survival run. But check out the Player Corpse mod, guys. Number 2 is the Step Up mod. This, as the name suggests, allows you to automatically step up over blocks instead of having to jump up manually for each one. It is the epitome of convenience and just making your life so much simpler, especially when you're out on those long hikes exploring the world. And there's a couple of commands for it too, which can increase your speed by hitting the up arrow and down arrow to decrease it, and you can also increase your step height with the page up and then reduce it with page down. If you increase both your step height and step speed up to maximum, that will allow you to actually step up 2 high blocks instead of just 1. But it is again an extremely convenient mod, so I highly recommend it. Number 3 is the Immersive Corpse Drop mod, and as the name suggests, this is much more immersive. It's also much more convenient and a lot quicker than the old way. So what this does is it simply eliminates the window that pops up where the meat and fat and hide would normally appear, or if you're doing drifters, the gears and the twine. Eliminates that. The items drop straight onto the ground. Keep one thing in mind, you do have to manually break the bones to pick those up, but otherwise super convenient. Highly recommend Immersive Corpse Drop. Number 4 is the Vanity mod, and if we hit the V button with Vanity installed, it brings up this window and simply allows us to adjust the clothing or armor that is visible to ourselves and to other players. And it's really great if you're on a multiplayer server and you want to show off some of the gear that you've made or found. And of course, it's good too for content creators such as myself or anybody out there making vintage story content who wants to dress up, or it's just good for anybody who likes to look their best. So check out the Vanity mod. Number 5 is the Carry-On mod, and arguably this one will have the biggest impact on your game, but I still think it's a very realistic change and it's extremely convenient and helpful. So it allows us to pick up and move many different types of containers which still have items or even liquids in them, such as this storage vessel. I can pick up and place it back down. As you can see, I didn't have to remove the contents. It does work with barrels and liquids, even small chests chests can be picked up and moved with their contents inside. It doesn't work for double chests, but another really fantastic feature is certain containers such as storage vessels, reed baskets, and the single chest itself can actually be placed on your character's back in addition to their normal backpack. So this very drastically increases the amount of items you can carry, although it does slow you down a bit, so keep that in mind. But if you're interested in the carry-on mod, I actually have a full tutorial video on the commands and things like that you'll need to know on how to use it, so check out that linked above. But that's going to do it for our brief but powerful mod showcase. I hope you enjoyed these and found them helpful. Let me know down in the comments if you've got your own favorite mods that you'd like to see. I will be happy to make a part 2 to this video and show off a whole bunch of new ones too. But also hit that like button if you enjoy the content, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one.